Hello everyone, and welcome to another What Is Your Mod? Not quite your usual What Is Your Mod today, as today we will be creating a scenario in the new, released today, editor for Starship Troopers Terran Command. And who better to show me the ropes of how to use the scenario editor than the man himself, Sky Marshal Lukas. He told me that I had to call him that. Welcome, Lukas.
Thank you for the introduction. And it is true that I've made a couple of scenarios in my days.
You've made a couple of scenarios in your day. That's a bit of an understatement. Okay, so I'm just gonna fire up the game because there's nothing to install. This just comes built into the game and comes with the patch, right? So
That is correct. I believe we released it like 2 hours ago.
2 hours ago. Yeah, I bet everyone now is playing with it right now. But it's okay. Let's get stuck in. So here it is, editor. It has appeared. And there's also community content button, so we can see here that people have already made some things, but not in 2 hours, right?
Maybe some of them did, but I think most of them took a bit longer.
All right. Look at this man. He looks very happy to be building things. All right. New scenario. Desert. Create new. Let's go. Hi Edmund. Seems like we're not earning Slith points for over a week. Yeah, there's some kind of fault with Stream Elements. We're looking into it, or at least we're looking into how we can help get it resolved. So, sorry about that. Pookie says he's doing his part. Right, so, obviously we're huge fans of the movie. Actually, you know what, I wanted to do some forum posts and stuff that made references to the third movie, and I was told that no one would. No one would remember the third movie. But anyway, one thing that I wanted to build is the famous Whiskey Outpost scene from the original movie. I think that's the one combat scene in Starship Troopers that everyone remembers, right? So that is what I'm going to start doing. So where should I begin? This is my terrain tab down here.
Am I supposed to explain it to you, or are you going to figure it out on your own?
I'll probably figure it out on my own.
Do you not remember your training, Edmund?
Do I not remember my training? So I've got a brush size here. It actually shows me the size of the brush. That's super helpful. And then I got two buttons next to it. What do these do? Square or circle? Okay, yeah. Now I get it. God, I sound like a real idiot right now. Okay. Can I set the height from here as well?
You have to go to the levels tab to edit the terrain levels. Yeah.
So I got to put the terrain down first and then elevate it, right?
Or the other way around, I guess.
Or the other way around.
It depends on your preference. Yeah, I probably usually do the elevations first because that's sort of the physical thing. But you can do it the other way around.
Okay, so if I remember correctly, it was built into a cliff. I'm just putting down rocks. I'm just, this is like my MS Paint masterpiece here. I'm just quickly shoving down.
The Picasso in your mind is coming up now.
That is, yeah, that's exactly it. Okay, I've zoomed out way too far for my graphics card to handle. And then that's 11. I definitely want to go. Oh wait, no, that's brush size. So I want to go probably about like 7 or 8 here.
Yeah, you probably don't want to go to the highest level at the start because then you can't really go higher anymore.
Let's just add a bit of texture, shall we say? Okay. I see why you said it'd be a good idea to actually do the coating of the terrain last, right? Because otherwise, it kind of looks a bit funny, if you will. And then there was kind of like a little lower bit that kind of stuck out here. I'm going off my memory of the movie, which I have not watched for a little bit, although I have seen it about 4 or 5 times, largely because I made other people watch it.
Doing your part.
Yeah, I was like, you've got to watch it. I'm using like the biggest brush size here at all times because I'm, a bit mad. Okay. All right. So then the outpost had a platform bit that came out of the cliff, I would say.
Which orientation are you going to build the walls on? Like, the walls are going to face toward the camera, right?
Yes. That's that is my thought anyway.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it, because otherwise, if you put the walls like facing north, then it's hard to see the bugs climbing it. So it's definitely best to have the orientation with the walls facing toward the camera.
This is me trying to draw a straight line, which is not happening. In fact, I think this would probably come a bit further in here.
I think what's also useful if you put a unit down, so you have a reference for scale, because I don't know if you currently have the right scale in mind.
I
don't know, maybe you're trying to make it bigger than I would do it, but...
Oh, wow. my whiskey outpost is enormous. Okay, all right, well, we're going to have the biggest...
I'm all for creative freedom, so do you, but...
This is the biggest whiskey outpost ever. Okay, well, to be fair, the cliffs were enormous. So let's let's tone it down a little bit, shall we? Okay. This is too big. This is very dumb of me. This is masterclass art here. Okay. All right. Now this is starting to look like it belongs.
For the walls, it's probably easier if you use the square thingy and then just make it big and.
Yeah. Oh, oops.
If you shift click on an elevation, you select that elevation. That's also a useful shortcut. So just shift click on the top of the wall, and then you can paint tops, and then if you want to shift click on the floor, then you don't need to go back and forth to this level interface.
What I need is a steadier hand. Right. I will fix this. Just there we go. Starting to look like a straight wall.
It's getting closer.
We're getting there. Okay. All right. This is my
So yeah, we're looking for a scenario editor. So maybe we should consider this as a job interview.
Oh man, this is me going way faster than I would want to go though. But yeah.
This is you going fast, okay?
Yeah, this is me going. Yeah, this is me going fast. This is I would know.
Now I know why this game took 4.5 years to create.
Hey. I probably should have done the rear section first, actually.
I believe you can rotate the camera with the 7 and 9 keys on your numpad. If you have such an advanced keyboard that has that.
Oh, look at this. Now we're going to get a million comments in the chat about why we can't do this in the game. You
The
cursed
Sky
me.
Marshal refuses to address that question.
Okay. I think we should add a ruler tool. That would help me a lot from Photoshop. It's a tool that just lets you draw in a completely straight line.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a bit of an obsession with being neat and tidy. Okay, all right. That's not so bad, I don't think.
It's getting
What
there.
does the chat
Nope.
think?
They just need a way to get up the wall, I would say. Otherwise, I wouldn't really like to be in there.
Yes, there was like a metal platform coming off the thing. Before we do that, I'm just going to pave the inside of the base, so it actually does look like the inside of the outpost. Parts of it were cliff, like it was just sort of like a base that had been kind of splattered into the rock, if I remember correctly. And this little in section here was where the tents and stuff were. And the entrance was like here, where I've left a where I've made a small mess here. This was the this was the entrancey bit. Okay, perfect. So, how do I put a gate in here? Tell me, Lucas.
Well, your wall is probably a bit tall for the gates that we've currently have, but so what I would do is maybe make a... I'm going to tell you how to do it exactly. So if you click on the current elevation of the wall, shift click, I mean.
Yep, let me just shrink my tool. Okay.
Stay on the levels setup, and then shift click on the wall. Yeah, so it is 4. So can you select elevation level 2 now?
Yep.
Or make it 1, I think is the correct one. Level 1. Yeah. Yeah, I'm watching the stream, so there's a bit of a lag. So I'm like, why is he not responding? But it's actually the screen lagging. So yeah, getting used to this. And then make the wall a bit lower on that end where you want the gates. Yeah. And then choose slope at the bottom left.
Yep.
Click on the slope button, and then paint the slope at the front of this bit. Yeah. Oh, need to make it a bit wider. Yeah, no, make it flat again. That's go to level again and make it a bit wider on levels tab, and then click level.
Hang on. I need a bigger brush.
And then you need to go to your own terrain now. You need to go to levels.
This interview is not going well. Okay. All right.
It's not, and then yeah, that's the way to do it.
Okay.
Voila, now it will work. And then paint the frontal part to be a slope. Well, let's just first place a gate so you have a better understanding what you're doing. So if you go to units.
Yep.
And then click on the gray button for the neutral units. That's the easiest way to find it.
Yep.
And then you have gate closed somewhere in there.
Yep, gate closed.
And you can place that down. If you hold the left mouse button and drag, then you can determine the orientation of the gate. And then just release whenever you feel happy. And then you'll find out the gate is quite small compared to the wall
to my enormous map. That's okay. That's okay. This is creative freedom on the
exactly, and I'm sure that's the way they would have built it. I mean, no one is gonna think about coming to the gate anyway, so why go to a gate if you have a big wall where you can climb over? So now you just have to edit the wall to touch the gate.
Okay, hang on. Okay, Whiskey Outpost is a bit
It's getting there. It's getting there.
Let's go with this. Because it kind of, I mean, it did actually slope in the movie a little bit, but I'll just sort of... We'll go with this. It's not an exact representation.
It's Whiskey Outpost 2.0, right? It's the better version.
Yeah, and there was
This is how
also
they should have done
a
it, but they had probably less of a budget.
there was a HMG tower, famous HMG tower.
Yeah, you can probably find it if you go to the Blue Alliance, the Blue player.
Federation stuff.
Yeah. And then there should be some turrety stuff on the left.
Some turrety stuff on the left.
You can also actually on the filter box on the all the way at the right of the bottom right, there's filter. If you type tower there, then you will find it.
Tower. All right. There was a tower.
So you want the non-destroyed one, yeah. Probably want to place it behind the walls, I would say.
Would it reach over my enormous walls though?
That's a good point.
Yeah, I think we better leave it on the wall. There was also one over here, but it was destroyed, if I remember the movie correctly. So we'll leave a broken one here. Yes, Whiskey Outpost has grown in size and enormity compared to what it should be. But hey.
And then one thing you want to do is click on the go to units again, and then click on the gate and make it blue. So if you go to units, select the gate, the one you placed, and then click on the blue icon to make it part of the player, so you can open and close your own gates. Because if it's set in neutral, then you cannot access it.
Okay.
Yep, that's the way to do it.
All right, perfect. Let me just level this front bit so it actually. Oops. Let me just level this front bit so it looks correct. It looks enormous, but correct. But you know, I mean, I hope that it reassures people that you know, you can just play around with it, right? You don't have to go in with a degree in art or something to.
Any old idiot can do it.
Any old streamer that they found in the basement can have a go at this. Okay.
One thing to notice, if in order for the walls to be climbable, you can't really make a short step like you did on the right side. So you want to either make it straight or like give it one space of elevation. Otherwise, so maybe a good test is actually to save your scenario. That's also rule number 1: always save your work. So if you start by that, by saving it.
Hang on, I was the slope is fine, I think.
It looks functional.
Hang on.
Yeah, you want to paint the levels manually and then do it. The editor tries to sort of do the work for you, but it's not perfect.
That's not my finest hour, but it's okay. That one's fine. this one could be redone, and so could this one. Okay, all right. So let's save it, shall we? There's a big save button here, and let's give it a name, which is
that's the filter. You need to click the Save New button at the bottom right.
Enter title here. As made by Edmund at gunpoint. Okay.
There you go.
All right. Those poor soldiers having to Major Laughter Master says those poor soldiers having to climb a slope of 45 degrees at least 15 meters high.
So what I would do is place some warrior bugs in front of the gates, put some units on the wall, and just give it a quick test to see what happens.
Okay, hang on. I'm gonna fix my slope here. There we go. I'm one of these people. I've got to fix these little.
Understandable. Yeah, the most reliable way is actually to the most reliable way is to paint the height elevations yourself and then switch them to slopes. But sometimes this shortcut works. Just make it a destroyed wall. Like if you paint it with like rocky terrain, it looks like it's been knocked out a bit. So if you go to edges, you can paint it to be like an edge again. So if you press the delete key on your, that sounds scary maybe, but if you press the 0 or delete, I'm not sure actually, on the numpad, it goes back to default camera rotation. Right. So shall we play some Warrior Box just to give it a quick go and see what happens? So if you remove the filter and then go to the red units, the red player basically. Yeah, you want to unselect your gate because now, if you have the gate selected, it will switch to. Now it made like a arachnid controlled gate, which you probably don't want. Not that I know how to open it, but still. Yeah, put some units on the wall, I would say. Otherwise, maybe no one's shooting them. They're not allowed to get off the wall anyway. So next step, save your scenario, and then you can just click the launch button. And then we probably have a scenario that we can put into the next DLC and sell for like $50 or something.
Sir, affirmative. Let's go! Everybody fights!
Exactly. Close enough. With some animation, with some imagination, it's pretty close. Less box, more wall, so it's the same balance. Yeah, it was a very small wall. Yes, well, I think what everyone wants to do is have more carnage in it, but making it pretty is also something probably just below that. So what you want to do, because these bugs are not automatically going to attack your base. So let's do Yeah, that's good. That's very good for performance. Cheers. Showing how well performant the game code is. That's so what you want to do to get them actually to attack the base is go to the AI tab at the top left. And then on the red player, click on Add the AI team. And then click the units button. And then if you hold the shift key, and then basically you have to click on all the units you just placed to assign them to that AI team. Yeah, sorry, the units button on the line of the AI team. Like, yeah, no, you have to click on it says AI team number 1. And then besides that, there is a unit button. Yeah, that's the one you click, and now you hold shift and you then basically they all have to have the number 1. If you hold the shift key, you can just do them. Yeah. So basically you're all assigning all these units to AI team number 1, and then you can assign like a task to that group. So you had the choice to put that many units down, so I have to click a lot. Yep. Kill a lot, you shall. Well, not all, but good enough. So if you right click now, then the panel should pop up again, hopefully. Yeah. And then you can switch it to move to location. That's the task we want to give them. Yes, and then attack move, because you don't want them just to walk there. And then on the select location, you want to click there, and then I guess in the middle of the outpost. So that's where they will try to go. And then, yeah, you can close that and save your game, and then probably test again if that actually works. You think you need more defenders? Oh, no, making it pretty. Yeah, just make it pretty. That'll do. The bugs will be in awe, and they'll be like, "Oh, let's not destroy this place." Yeah, they need a place to live in, right? Yeah. With the what does it say in the tooltip? It says at the bottom right, the O and the P key apparently for rotation. Yep, exactly. Well, everyone has a guy in the chat when they're working on the editor talking to them, so it's not really required for you to read that. It would look better, yeah. Has to be a bit more claustrophobic. Radio station, or what are you looking for? Go to the neutral. Yeah, there they are. So if you want it to be functional, you need to click on the drop site and then link it, attach it to the radio station. That way you'll be able to. So left click on the drop site, go to units, and then click on the attach button. And then click on the radio station. Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't think you have supply for it actually, so you probably want to add some supply depots as well. Most humans anyway, yeah. You're doing great, you're doing great. So you want it to be a rock, right? Is that the next step? So if you go to levels, then you can, yeah. And then the edge type and select the rocks. Yeah, if it's a rock terrain type, then it will also automatically do this. Yeah. You probably want to, for the last bit, you want to click on edge and then like paint the rocky cliff type. Slope. It's pretty close, I would say, yeah. With a lot of imagination, it's pretty close. All right. Let's do that. See if you can actually win this one. So am I, maybe sometime in the near future. Well, not in the near future, let's say there's some distant future.
Sir.
I mean, we're getting pretty close with lava, right? So it's snow and lava, it means not too far off.
Starship Troopers. Let's go. We ain't dying. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Kill him. Get ready.
So far, you're still doing all right.
Squad ready. The Starship Troopers. Sir. Sir.
We've got a unit under attack.
Sir.
We've got a unit under attack.
All you need is the tanker bot that like bursts to the ground behind you, and then you have the full movie scene.
Squad ready for orders.
We've got a unit under
ready.
attack.
Oh, it's about to get real.
We've got a unit under attack.
Sir. Squad
Gate's
ready
not
for
looking
orders.
great.
We've got a unit under attack.
Let's go. Affirmative. This way. Let's go. Roger that. Yes, sir.
So if you want to make an epic ending, you can use the
We've got a
evacuate
unit
button.
under attack.
Start it there.
Sir, arachnids are disrupting one of our bases.
Or they can just die. I guess it's equally fitting for a movie.
Squad. Kill him.
We've lost contact with a comms base.
Throw a grenade, I'm sure it'll be fine. So let's start by putting a timer in, I suppose, a visual timer. Does that make sense? Yeah. So if you go to the triggers button in the top left, and then you go through, you click on the root and you click on the add trigger button at the top. Yep. And then you click on the condition drop panel, like the one that says condition hatchery pop-up at the top. And then there is one effect that says set timer. Timer set, yeah, makes more sense. And then you can click on that new effect. And then again, I'm watching this with a little delay, so apologies for my slow response. You need to, click on the trigger and then the plus button. Click on trigger, yeah, work. Yeah, and then you can give it a display name, so that's what you will see at the top. So yeah, the ID is just like an internal thing, so that doesn't really matter. And then the display name is what you actually display for the UI. Voila. And then you can set it basically to an amount of minutes, I guess. From what you just created, probably like 1 minute. Well, you can change it later. So the rest is correct. So you want the timer to decrease, and then you want to check the display as main timer, which will make it actually display in the UI. So the next thing you want to do is create a second trigger. And let's name that trigger check for timer expiration or something. So basically what we want to do is to check if the timer reaches 0, then something needs to happen. Double click it. Yeah. Then you click on the drop down. Yeah, be clean. So then you click on check timer, the trigger, and then you add a condition timer check, I think it's called. Yeah, and then the default settings are probably correct. Well, you need to change the ID where it says name. You need to change it to escape because that's the name you gave it. So that's how it knows what timer to check. Okay. Yeah. So for example, I guess then you probably like make it then. Yeah. So then you can add an effect in the drop down, the one at the top left. Yeah. The way to do it, so what you excuse me, you can go to unit spawn. Unit spawn effect indeed. Yeah. And then if you click on the unit type button where it says rifle troopers, you can now at the bottom select a different unit type. So if you type in the filter Viking, I think. Yeah, that's the name of the dropships. And then you should have one that says like landing. Yeah. And then click on locations. So select facing, the button is called. If you click on that and then click and drag like for the facing on the map and then release, then that's where it will deploy. You can also check instantly warp on the location. I don't think that will matter in this case, but basically, if you can also use this trigger effect to spawn in reinforcements. For example, you would spawn a rifle trooper instead of a DR4 Viking, and then if you leave the instantly warp new location unchecked, it will be delivered by a dropship, and otherwise it would like instantly spawn on the map. So maybe change the timer to like 15 seconds for now, just to test if this actually works. That was a good double check. So the counting down the setup. All right. No, the one. No, but I mean the one above. So basically, you want to start the timer at 15 seconds, and then you want to check if it's 10 seconds, then the dropship arrives, just to see if it all works. Otherwise, you have to play a whole minute and then see that it doesn't work and fix it. Yeah. Just always useful to quickly check your triggers first before, playing. Yeah. Yeah. And then launch and save just to see what happens. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There needs to be a reason to make it 2, right?
Sir,
It's basically, I feel like I'm watching
ready to
the game,
go.
to be honest. It's bringing back all the good memories.
Sir, affirmative. Oh, it's a throttle. Sir, affirmative.
There it is.
We've got a unit under attack.
Come on, you apes. Yes, sir.
So alright, that's working. So you want to go back to the editor because obviously nothing else is
We've
going
got
to
a
happen
unit under attack.
right now, since you didn't do anything else yet. So if you go back to triggers, and then the next thing, well, what you probably want to do is change the check timer one into a timeline. So if you click the timeline button, so a normal trigger you can have, if it's not a timeline, can have a set of conditions at the start, and then a set of effects that are executed if all the conditions are true, basically. But with a timeline trigger, you can mix triggers and effects. So it can first check something, then do something, then wait again for the next condition, then do something again. So for the second one, the first one you can leave on a normal trigger, and the second one you can put on timeline. And then, so for the second one, if you click to open that on the button in front of it, the like little arrow button. Yeah, the gear wheel arrow, and then go to condition again. Or what you can actually do is if you select on the timer check escape, and then click on the copy button, then it will make a duplicate of that. The third button from the top left. The very top. Right below the trigger button. Yeah. Yeah. And then you want to add a new effect, which is outcome set. No. Yeah, called outcome set. And then I think the default value is already victory. So yeah, we don't really need to test this. Basically, once the timer drops below 0, it will give you victory. So yeah, let me know what else you want to do. That's the basic stuff. I think you can. I'm not sure, but I give you a
I've
43% chance.
my sound just disappeared for a second there because I accidentally pressed the 1 key. I'm back.
The magic one.
It's fine. Your voice was the more important one.
17 seconds. Can you do it? Can you make it? 14 seconds. The dropship is incoming. Can you make it? Fall back to the compound. Fall back to the compound.
Roger that. Yes, sir.
A bit slow, troopers not really responding. The general is maybe also not the quickest in the world, but he's trying his best.
Okay, so because someone out there will want to go away and actually make this properly, as in, I mean, I know we're making it properly, but we're really just demonstrating. We're just demonstrating how it's
how the real like experienced people do it, right?
How it's done, as it were, just to help people get started. So we only want to win if, and I'll get rid of this unit here if I can.
Right.
We only want to win if one of our units actually makes it to the escape, right?
Yep.
We don't want to win if there's no one there to get to the dropship.
So I guess the best way to do it is that in let's say in what is it, 10 seconds before, or let's maybe just the timer, I guess, says that the dropship arrives. So we can set that to 0 maybe, and then the next objective is to get to the dropship. Is that according to your liking, or do you have something else in mind?
No, that's what I was thinking. I'm just giving these boys a
Way to survive, maybe.
a way to get out. Yeah, it's a bit unfair on them otherwise. Otherwise, there's no escape for them, which is a bit mean. There we go. That looks better.
All right. So we want to go back to the triggers then.
Yep. Because I think triggers are this is the thing that scares people the most, right? So just being able to make a simple victory objective is.
Yeah, just painting a map, putting down units. Even I guess the AI team thing is fairly straightforward. It's just assigning units to it and then telling what each
them what
group
to
should do. Yeah, exactly. But of course, once you want to do like consecutive things and objectives and events and dialogues, etc., you have to like get familiar with the trigger system, which in its core it's reasonably simple. You create a trigger. It usually has conditions, one or more conditions, and then a number of effects. So basically, as long as the conditions are met, the effects are executed. But of course, the challenge is to figure out what all the effects are and how to use them. And then once you start chaining events, etc., it gets complicated.
So what I want the timer to be 0, and I want a unit to be at the drop site or near it.
Yeah. So the way I would do it is make a new trigger.
Okay.
And you call it, let's say, check if unit is near position or a variation on that.
Okay.
Check if unit is near the dropship or something. At least that's what we're going to make the trigger for.
Okay, yep.
And then for a condition, you can add units near position, if I remember correctly.
Condition.
The top. Unit near target is the name.
Unit status
Units
near target. There we go.
Near target, yeah. So selecting that, you can make sure it's set. If you check on unit definitions, click on add, the add button.
Unit add button, yep.
And then make sure it's set to infantry. Yeah, if you click on the class, otherwise it will count a dropship as a unit, and obviously we don't want to get the objective if the dropship is at that location.
Maybe type
so
Mark II troopers.
Could also do that. So you can toggle categories like ground units or air units. Classes like infantry, vehicles, hordes.
Yeah, I get it.
Sort of, and the type is if you want a specific type. So make it a infantry class, because I'm not sure if the dropship counts as an air unit, because it's a bit of a weird thing because it's a landed dropship. So then you're certain that it's working like that. And then select radius. You want to click and drag again. To select like how close they should be to this point.
Let's say there.
Yeah,
I'll do.
Should release that. So that's the condition, and then you want to add an effect, which, well, I guess you want to just make the victory thing. So what you can actually do is there's like two subtle lines at the way to the left of the outcome victory effect you created earlier.
Yep.
So in the check trigger. So if you click on those two lines in front of it, you can drag it into like the other trigger.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, of course you could also just create a new one, delete it, etc. But it's like an easy way to move things over.
Yep.
So obviously you don't want to happen. So if you did it like this, as soon as you walked one unit to that position, you would get your victory.
Yep.
So obviously you don't want that. So you can click on the checkbox, the green checkbox in front of the trigger.
Yeah.
That will disable it from the start. So that means that the trigger is not actually active right away.
Yep.
And then on your check timer, you want to click on that trigger again.
Yep.
And then add a new effect called trigger enable.
I see where you're going with this.
So I'll let you figure it out then the rest of the way.
Okay, yeah. I see where you're going with this. Trigger enable. The trigger we want to enable is to check if the unit is near position. And we want to enable it and we want it at the end, which it already is.
Yep, indeed. So you can actually remove, I guess we wanted the timer to be 0, right? So you can actually just change remove the second timer check and set the first one to 0, because the dropship is meant to arrive, I guess, now at 0.
No, the dropship arrives. It starts arriving at 10 seconds, right? And then it'll be there.
Be there at 0. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then and then you have to be next to it for a small amount of time to actually get on and leave. I guess is how I feel. Yeah. And then we also need to add a defeat.
Yeah, a defeat condition indeed. So let's make a new trigger. I guess you can just call it defeat or something. Condition or
defeat trigger.
So I guess what we want to do is check if all blue infantry units are dead, then you lose.
Yep.
That's what you had in mind, or?
Yep, that's exactly it. So unit killed, say.
Yep. Unit count is actually the way to do it. So you could individually check for individual units, but unit count, you can just count how many units it has. So you need to click on the trigger, the top of the line. Yeah, not on the event thing. Yeah.
Units.
So currently it's set to so that will now count all the blue units. So it will say if there are no blue units whatsoever, but you want again to click on the add button for the definitions and then change it to infantry.
Yep.
And I think that'll do it. So basically, so yeah, these displays are of course a bit overwhelming for a new person because there's a lot of controls in there.
Yep.
But it's once you kind of read through it step by step and just experience with it, you will get used to it.
Yep. So if
that's the condition.
Units alive equals 0.
Exactly. So
and then we want to copy our set outcome trigger.
Yeah, indeed. So you can click on it and make a copy if you want. And
then drag the victory condition to here. But instead of it being a victory condition, we're going to make it a defeat condition.
Yeah.
So if the infantry all die, we lose.
Yeah, indeed.
And then we're going to start the countdown from, let's say, 1 minute 30. Let's see if this mission is winnable at 1 minute 30. Save. So now if all my units die, I lose. But if at least one of them survives to get to the exit, I win.
Indeed.
And I'm going to put our rifle troopers back, but...
So the only thing to be aware of currently is that... Well, I guess that can't really happen. What I was going to say is because what you probably want to do to be 100% safe is once the unit is near a position, you want to disable the defeat trigger, because you no longer want to be able to get a defeat once you've reached that point.
Oh, right. I see what you mean.
But in reality, I don't think this can actually happen, because once you set the outcome to victory, the second call won't actually do anything anymore. But just in case, for example, if you wanted to have a briefing at that point where the guy is still talking, at this point you could still lose, because if you lose all your units while the person is talking and you've not yet set the actual victory, you would lose. And the question, of course, is if you want that or not.
Yeah.
But so what you could do is another enable trigger and then just set it to disabling the defeat one.
Yeah. So I could take the enable trigger.
Yeah.
Copy it. Take it to here. And change the condition to... is the condition fine as it is? No.
The trigger should be the defeat one.
Yeah. Defeat trigger. Disable.
Yeah, indeed. So again, this wouldn't actually make a difference, because I think if once it's set to victory, it will already not be able to fire anymore the second one. But it is cleaner.
It is cleaner, and you should design your scenarios in a way that they're not going to...
Because if you're going to extend on this, I guarantee you this would happen. Yeah. Basically, if you want to be at the point where the player's supposed to win, you want to make sure that the defeat stuff can no longer happen. Otherwise,
so we should add a primary objective to tell the player what to do as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Escape after the timer has concluded. Close.
So if you want to be fancy, what you could do is disable the second objective at the start, and then only enable that once sort of it becomes relevant.
Go on then. Let's teach people how to be fancy. We're gonna go. We're gonna go
fancy.
crazy.
So if you click
Okay.
on objectives and then disable the second one.
Yep.
And then you can go through the triggers again. And then basically, as soon as the dropship arrives, you want to add in that
So somewhere in
timeline.
here. Yep, in this timeline.
Yeah, so at the end, you want to create a new effect called Objective Enable.
Effect. Objective enable. Yep.
And you want to enable the second objective and probably
Disable this
disable the
one.
first one. Yeah.
And then just copy it. And then the second objective, enable.
Yep.
Okay. And that's it.
That's it, yeah.
And that's it. Okay. Let's see if our Whiskey Outpost works as as the movie intended. Let's see if it works.
Get ready.
Sir.
Awaiting orders.
I still actually have
See
to
the
work
objective
to
now
win
on the
this.
top left. So also as a tip, you probably just wanted to say survive until dropship arrives, otherwise every time you change the timer, you change the objective's name.
Yeah.
Oh, it's about to get real. Sir,
Get that
fire
one.
at will. Squad, ready for orders.
Get ready.
Sir,
We're still holding.
We've got a unit under attack.
About 50% down. Timer is about halfway or halfway.
awaiting orders.
We're getting there.
Ready to go. Affirmative. Take them down. Squad, ready.
Hello.
Hello.
Fire at will.
Can you hear me? It's nothing but violence here. Okay.
Full concentration.
Full concentration, sorry. I actually want to win this.
Oh,
Gate is breaking.
about to get
The
real.
gate is not holding. To do something about it.
Get ready.
The Sky Marshal can...
Edmund, the gate is
A
falling.
unit has been promoted, sir.
Shush,
Worried.
Check your line.
shush, 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 shush.
Get ready. Roger that.
Oh no, they've broken in via the top.
Anyone behind?
Affirmative.
Oh, they're coming from the
Roger
back.
that.
How did those guys get there?
Oh, they went up the
they
wall
went
over
up
there.
the wall and down the slope. That's
Yeah.
smart.
Oh. Alright. We did it. Okay, so
Well,
obviously, using these triggers and spending, a bit more time actually painting the map and maybe phasing the scenario a little bit, you could recreate the scene. Oh, not a new scenario. What am I doing? So if you wanted the bugs to come in waves, you would just set them to different teams and then put timers on them to attack at certain points.
Yeah.
Okay, so just as an example, at the moment all these are on team 1. So if I add another AI team, and we'll just use one bug as an example, with the same kind of aggressive attack move that we used before.
Well, if you want them to attack later, then you need to leave them on none for now. Otherwise, they're all gonna come. Or what do we want to do?
Okay, so just as if someone was creating this scenario, I think that what they would want to do is they would want to stagger out the attacks, if you know what I mean. So that it's not just all of them at once, but it's, in the movie it's a mob of them at the beginning, but then after that there's an even bigger mob that comes later.
Yeah.
So we want like one team to go in first and then the second team to go in a little bit later.
Yeah. So
Wow.
you would leave the second team on none as a task,
No task. Okay.
and then assign a unit to it again by clicking on the units button.
Okay, so let's just make this one team 2. A unit can have more than one team?
No, but I think it's 2 units overlapping.
Okay, that's fine.
So if you alt click, you can move units if you want to.
Okay, I'm not gonna obviously select the horde of units. This is just for demonstration
as an
purposes.
example. Yeah, and then go to triggers.
Yep.
And then I guess we can make a new trigger. So let's do it in a very simple way.
Yep.
And then as a condition, create weight. Set like add a weight condition.
Okay, so let's add a trigger. Oops. That was not what I wanted to do. Sorry. Yeah, new condition.
Create a new trigger first.
Yes.
The button at the top left.
There we go. There we go. All right. So, second wave, we'll call this.
Yep.
Because what people would want to do is they'd want to like send in, say, maybe 10 units or maybe 10 or 14 units, something like that first. And then as they thin out, then send in the next wave, right? Or just after a certain amount of time. So that it sort of has a more pace to it rather than just the blob comes at you and that's it. So,
yeah, and of course for gameplay purposes it's also more interesting just to have a bit of a break, etc. between the attack waves.
right,
You probably
exactly.
want like different unit types. Of course that's not like it would be in the movie, I guess, unless you add a tanker bug or something. So you want stuff to happen over time.
Yeah, because the tanker bug pops up in the middle of the base, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's something you could theoretically do in this as well.
Yeah.
By spawning it in. Okay, but let's do this first because I think this would be a more useful thing for people to know how to do.
So I guess one way to do it is by just adding a weight condition. So if you click on the trigger name and then click on condition and then weight.
Condition weight. Yep.
And then you can just give a time, however long that needs to be.
Yep. Wait 30 seconds. Fine.
Yeah. So that means the condition will just wait. It will be a countdown of 30 seconds before the next thing is executed.
Yeah.
Then what you want to do as an effect is set AI team. Or AI team set, I think it's called.
AI team task set.
That's the one.
Okay. So we want AI team number 2.
Yeah, you have to click on the red button because it's a random AI team.
Yep.
Then AI team 2, and then you can just, it's kind of the same control. So you want to switch the AI task to move.
Attack nearest is probably be fine. Oh, we can do move as well. Move to location.
Yeah, then it's the same one as the other team. So you again just select
Set
this location in the middle of the outpost,
Yeah.
and then aggressive attack move. So
Okay.
this is the same display or the same amount of like controls as the AI panel, but you're just controlling it to trigger now.
And what that allows players to do, well, scenario editors. This will allow you guys watching this tutorial to send units in waves, so you can make an interesting scenario where a few units come, then more units come, then a horde of units come, and so on. Rather
the
than
same
just...
if you had an event like you're walking around and you want the player, when they arrive at a village, certainly an attack wave arrives, then it's kind of the same. You use the check units near a position, and then you set the AI team to attack. So it's a mechanic to just control the AI to do things based on certain conditions.
Okay, one last thing I think we should show is how to, because obviously not everyone's going to want to make a scenario exactly like this, is how to make a bug hole. Let's make a bug hole in the middle of the base.
Okay.
Because that's what happens in the movie. So, how do we create a bug hole and make it spawn something? We even make it spawn a tanker bug.
It's a pretty automated system, so let's do that. It's maybe not exactly what you would have in mind for the movie, but let's just do what the game mechanics are. So if you go to units and then select the red player, the arachnids.
Units, arachnid. Oh,
Yep.
No, let's not change the ownership of anything. Let's just make sure we're deselected. Cool. Yep.
And then you have a hive, probably the third one.
Bug cave, concrete tunnel.
So the first three are the same, but they have different shapes. Like the tunnel is the one, sort of the flat one straight out of the ground.
Yep.
And then you just click and drag where you want it, probably all the way at the back or or right in the smack in the middle. That works too.
Yeah, there it is.
So basically, this already does probably what you want. So basically, that will instantly start spawning bugs when you go near it. So if you want to activate after some time, then you need to set it at neutral at first.
Okay,
So it kind of depends on
set it.
what you want to do.
Let's set it neutral. I just click it, right?
Yeah, you select it and then you click on the gray button.
Okay. What is this? What is the other environment?
So the first one is neutral. That means it's friendly to everyone. Basically, it doesn't do anything. The second one is hostile to everyone. So that means player and arachnids. So if you spawn like a black unit, it will shoot both at player units and red units and arachnid units.
All right. So we kind of can I make this appear, like be invisible and then appear, and then spawn the tanker bug?
No, with the hive system you cannot do that. But
I can make it spawn the tanker bug.
You can just make it spawn a tanker bug, yeah. That's just with the spawn unit trigger effect, which you already did the same with the dropship.
Okay, so I need to create a new trigger. Hang on. There we go. You have to actually have another trigger selected to create a new trigger. If you have something else selected, it doesn't let you do it.
All right.
That caught me out. Okay. So, tanker spawn. Okay.
So yeah, when do we want it to happen? Maybe shortly before the dropship arrives or something. So you could I guess attach it to the timer, or
we'll do a timer check. Say, let's copy the timer check trigger. Copy and grab. Say timer equals 15. Actually, it appears sort of slightly after the dropship, doesn't it? Let's say 8 seconds. Okay.
Then you create another unit spawn.
So
trigger effect.
Unit spawn. Let's copy the unit spawn trigger. Let's drag that one down too. And we want to create a arachnid tanker bug. There she is. Unit count.
Make sure you
unit
click
count.
on red, otherwise it's gonna be a very friendly tanker.
Friendly tanker bug, yeah. Yep, red tanker bug.
Then the location. And
let's give it to the AI team as well.
Yep.
Okay. And do I need to change the member count min or max here?
No, it won't make it different for the tanker bugs because it can only be one. So 0 actually means default.
Okay, so 0 means default. So 0 means 1, really.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Good. Cleared that up.
Did you set the position? Because I didn't see that.
Location.
So where it says the coordinates.
Yeah.
You want to click that probably and then click someone else.
Click.
Is that set?
Here.
And then click and drag on the map. Okay, so it's on the. You probably don't want it to be on the drop site, right?
No. No, it's here. It's on the.
Okay.
It's on the bug hole.
Yeah, so that's going to glitch a little bit, I think, because you're actually spawning unit on top of the hive, and that's not really not really intentional. So maybe you want to do it right in front of it.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Done.
And that's it, really. So.
And that's it.
Yeah.
But this technique won't work for a normal bug hole like the wall-based one that you can go into and shut down.
No, those are two separate things. So now you're just spawning in a unit that will come out of the ground. So there's nothing to do actually with the hive you created.
Okay. All right. Okay. So the hive is not even. We could just get rid of that. In theory.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it was a useful exercise anyway. I think we should also just quickly cover actually making one of these wall hives, if you know what I mean.
Wall hives, okay, yeah. Then click on the first one in the list.
There we go. One of these.
Yeah, you place it, you click and drag again, voila. And then, yeah, this will already work really. So let's just set one up. So
how do you adjust the strength of it, or?
Yeah, so one thing you want to do is add a tunnel to it, for example. So that's another unit called Bug Tunnel, one in the same list. I think the 4th or the 5th.
Bug Tunnel, yeah, here it is.
Yeah, you just place that down somewhere close.
Yep, done.
Then you right-click to deselect the current selection, then and then select the bug tunnel, and then use the
Attach
attach
it.
button again to attach it to the hive, similar to how you were attaching the drop site to the radio station.
Yep.
And that's it really. So it will spawn each hive, so a tunnel or hive will spawn 3 units. And depending on what like threat level or mutation it's called internally is active, it will determine which units spawn.
Okay. All right.
So you don't even have to like attach anything to it.
Let's give ourselves some extra units to deal with this mess, shall we say? And we'll see if our tanker bug spawns.
Yep.
Okay, and let's launch it. There you go. There's someone in the chat who already says, I can already imagine a pitch black scenario.
Yeah. That was a pretty good movie. There you go.
We've got a unit under attack.
Oh, they're not going to make it, are they?
Well, if your
We've got a unit under
booster
attack.
ability runs out before they're all dead, then you definitely are in trouble. Yeah, they run out.
We've got a unit under attack.
He's not dead yet. Okay, now he's dead.
Yes, sir. Roger that.
We've got a unit
Yeah,
under
all the
attack.
spears, apparently.
Go,
Guys
go,
will
go.
pop up and do it.
Oh, I forgot about the walls.
Ready to go.
We've got a unit under attack.
Oh, they're crawling up the sides.
We've got a unit under attack.
It plays well. Well, it plays okay.
Ready to go.
We don't hear any music, any game
We've got
sound,
a unit under
so
attack.
that's something.
Oh, I've got the music turned off, so don't worry.
Yeah, okay.
A unit has been promoted, sir.
Probably not. Here it comes.
Did
A
everything right.
unit
The
has
tank
been
is
promoted,
supposed to
sir.
be doing
Oh, and there's
Yeah,
the tanker in the middle.
something happening.
The iconic tanker spawned in the middle. I'm well happy now. That's all I wanted.
Yeah,
Oh.
pretty cool. Pretty
Okay, so now what we should do is we should stick this scenario on the workshop so that people can learn from it. And hopefully they'll watch the associated video because people will be like, what is with this scenario? It's total rubbish.
Make sure that the description hypes it up a lot.
1 star on Steam Workshop.
So we can also do that through the scenario editor. So if you load the scenario up again,
Yep, let's load it up. Okay, we're back.
so yeah, then the next thing to do is click on the publish button. You
Okay,
can find it. I'll let you search for it.
okay.
There it is.
I'm gonna say this mission was made as part of a stream you can see on the official YouTube channel.
Will it be on YouTube?
Yes, it will. We'll put it up there.
Alright.
Don't worry.
All right. It will be on the internet forever.
Yep, it's on the internet forever now. To help you learn how to make a map with the editor and add basic triggers and AI. We hope you enjoy making your own maps and missions using the information provided. Thanks for playing, citizen. I type really quickly, so.
Perfect.
All right.
So yeah, I think you can figure the rest out.
Sorry, let's say that you can see on the official Twitch channel and on the YouTube channel Slitherine. after, let's say the 20th of March. I think gives us time. Otherwise, someone will be like, "Where is it? It said it was on YouTube. I can't find it." We need a little bit of time to put it up there. Okay, Whiskey Outpost tutorial. Okay, and we just press the publish button. You can publish for everyone, friends, or just yourself. I'm not sure why you would publish just for yourself.
Well, I don't know. If
You
you're
could just
your
play it
best
from.
friends, I think.
You could just play it from the editor then. Okay, right. Anyway, putting that aside, we just press the button and that's it.
Are you ready for it? Here we go.
There we go. It's as easy as that. Now the world has been exposed to this. Oh, look at that.
Wonderful.
I need to agree to the latest agreement. But here it is. Oh, I better not scroll down because it will show all the moderator controls. And I'm not allowed to show those. But anyway, it's there. So
yeah, you see the stream overlay because we don't see it on the stream, I think.
okay. All right. Yes. I've got a safety thing in to stop it from showing. That's good.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. But trust me when I say it's there. It is there. It's on Steam. So I just have to
I'm going to double check and I'm
approve.
going to give it...
I have to approve it.
Yet.
I have to approve.
Oh yeah, it takes some time also, I think.
Yeah.
It takes a minute or something for Steam to approve it, so yeah.
Yeah.
So don't get too excited yet, people. The
It will be
great
the- it will-
scenario created so far is not yet available instantly, but it will be very soon.
It should be there now. I've just approved it myself as the moderator.
Oh, you have those powers.
I've approved my own scenario. I have.
Let me check on the most recent ones. There it is. There it is. I will give it... that's a hard... I don't know. I guess... To be professional, I give it...
To be professional, it would be like
I'll give
1
it a
star.
Professional upvote, but...
You should see it on the workshop very, very shortly. If Lukas already sees it, then it's definitely up there.
I can ban the item too, I see here, so...
That's brutal. Any questions, guys, while we finish this up any questions about the scenario editor? I hope that you guys have, and those of you watching this on YouTube later, feel free to put your questions in the comments. I will see them eventually. I hope this has been informative, and to be fair, I mean, we put this together in an hour. If you really want to sit down with 4 or 5 hours and actually you have a vision for something, you really can create it. You just need to put the put that time in. Can we make hostile human enemies? Yes, you can assign units to the arachnids that are human, I think.
Yeah.
So you just create the units. I would create the units. This is how I would do it, just based on my knowledge of the scenario editor. So Lukas can rate me on this. But I would create neutral human units, and then I would make a trigger to assign them to an AI team and to assign them to a team to make them enemies. And then I would then use the AI controls that we showed in this to make them do something like move around and attack people or just sit there. Is that it?
Yep.
That would
one
work?
way. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's one way. Right, let's hear the way that is the proper way.
Well, that's what you would do, of course, if you want them to activate at certain points. But you can also, something we didn't cover, you can actually add players. So you can add, for example, another color, let's call it, the colors we were clicking on. So you can add another one that is also hostile, and you can place human units for that one. And you can also create AI teams for it, so it would work exactly the same as the Arachnid player, but just as a human player. For human units, I mean. Units.
One person asked, quick question, how do we make nighttime maps?
Just go to the settings button on the top left.
Settings button on the top left. Here it is.
And then you can change the lighting mode, where it says desert noon, desert dusk, desert night.
Okay, so we can set desert night. And just like that, it became nighttime.
Yep.
Any other questions, guys? One person, Luthan said, very helpful, Edmund and Lucas. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Always nice to hear.
Limit on different teams. I don't know if you mean units. I guess there is technically no limits, but you're gonna blow up your computer at some point.
Yeah, there's no limit on the amount of units you can place. You could create the movie literally, as in, I think the movie had, if I remember the interview, it's not as many as people think it is, but it's like about 800 or 900 bugs in the movie. The CGI
it has to be more on the bigger shots.
It's not as many as people think. It looks like a huge amount because of the way the shot is. But you could put like those 900 units on the map, and if your computer can hack it, it would work.
Yep.
But you know, this is you channeling your RTX 490.
To be fair, it's not exactly going to be more fun. Like maybe looking spectacular, but it doesn't actually make for a very good game.
Yeah.
Think about what they actually did in the outpost. They just fired their rifles and died eventually. There's not all that much gameplay to do around it. But yeah, you can do it.
I think some people would like to just recreate the movie scenes.
Yeah, the spectacle, of course.
The spectacle in the game.
Yeah.
So that's definitely possible. Any other questions, guys? We got 7 minutes left, and then I'm going to let Lucas go because obviously developers are very busy. And community managers are not, so I'll probably be around for a little bit longer to answer questions. But I'll let the man go. And we do want to actually just keep this relatively tight for YouTube, so people on YouTube aren't watching and thinking, well, you know, who are they talking to? What are the messages? We don't understand. We cannot see the chat. I think that is going to be it. So thank you very much, Lucas, for teaching me how to use the Starship Troopers Terran Command map editor out for free, built right into the game. Just came out today. Fire it up and have a go. It is very easy to do. As you can see, it only took me an hour from nothing to put this together. And it works. It's not great, but it works.
With a little bit of help. But
yeah.
Other than that, yeah.
But it works. As a scenario, it works. It's got a defeat condition. It's got a victory condition. We've got some units. The AI does attack you in the way that you would expect. And we managed to get our iconic dropship landing in and our iconic tanker bug popping out in the middle of the base. So it can definitely be done. And by anybody. You don't have to be, an artist or be a scripter or whatever to use the triggers system. I feel like it's actually quite easy to do. You just need a little help getting started, and that's what I hope this provides everybody.
Yeah, and also the people in the community, on the forum, the Discord, are being incredibly helpful, incredibly creative. So it's always we're not getting involved that much, but we're often looking at what they're creating, and it's really impressive. So it's very nice to see. And
just
if you have any questions, that's also a good place to get them.
Yeah, just to belabor that point, you can actually see here that loads of missions have already been made by the community. Loads of really nice looking, just from the screen caps, really nice looking missions have been added already. So there's already loads of content out there for you guys to play around with if you want to, including entire campaigns. So look at it. It just goes on, and it's been out a day. Look at it. Look at all this. No, people have even got the movie pictures in. So yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody. That is it from us for now. So we will see all of you guys next time.
All right. Thanks, Edmund. Good job. And see you all later.